The 2025 NBA playoffs are finally here, and the Knicks vs. Pistons first-round matchup is shaping up to be one of the most underrated battles of the entire postseason. Two gritty teams, elite point guards, versatile wings, and lockdown defenders. This series has everything. But when we break it down player by player, who actually has the edge? Today I'm diving deep into each matchup using the stats to predict which team is built to survive and advance. Let's get into it. Let's kick it off with the starters. Cade versus Brunson. At first glance you might say Cade's clearly the better player, right? He averages more points, rebounds, assists, steals, and blocks. Case closed. Not so fast. Brunson plays a different role. With more scoring options around him, his usage rate sits at 29.3. That's nearly 3% lower than Cade's. That means fewer forced shots, more efficient play, and better control of the offense. Cade, meanwhile, has to do everything, which results in a league-second 4.4 turnovers per game. But here's a twist. Cade is also suited up for 5 more games than Brunson. Availability matters, so who's better? If you value efficiency, you might lean Brunson, but when it comes to an all-around production and impact across the board, Cade's 6'7" frame and versatility gives him the slight edge in this series. Tim Hardaway Jr. versus Mikal Bridges, the clash of catch-and-shoot kings. This one's closer than it looks. Both are catch-and-shoot assassins, exactly the kind of player you want next to heliocentric stars. Let's even the playing field by comparing their per 48-minute stats. Mikal puts up 23 points, 4 boards, 5 dimes, a steal, and a block. THJ, 19 points, 4 boards, 3 assists, a steal, and half a block. So Bridges takes the lead in most categories. But what about turnovers and efficiency? THJ takes better care of the ball with a 5.4 turnover ratio versus Mikal's 7.6. But Bridges flips the script again with a 10% higher field goal percentage. Even in the 3-point department, THJ only edges him by 2% despite taking more attempts. So who wins here? Bridges. His bigger role, defensive value, and overall efficiency make the difference. Ausar Thompson versus Josh Hart. Hustle meets heart. This one's for the gritty hoopheads. Both guys bring fire, defense, and hustle. Hart is a classic glue guy, averaging 13 points, 10 rebounds, 6 assists, with a steal and a half in 38 minutes. Meanwhile, Ausar averages 10, 5, and 3, with 1.7 steals in just 22 minutes. But here's where it gets interesting. In the paint, Ausar holds opponents to 41% shooting, nearly 4% better than Hart. That's elite rim protection from a wing. Still, Hart's all-around contributions and versatility give him the nod, for now. But Ausar, he's knocking on the door. Tobias Harris versus OG Anunoby. Two-way wings face off. Tobias and OG are built from the same mold. Big, physical wings who play within the system. But their roles differ. OG is the Knicks' defensive ace and a bigger offensive piece, averaging 18, 5, and 2. Tobias puts up 14, 6, and 2, with fewer plays designed for him. Does that make OG better? Yes, but Tobias' impact, especially as a veteran presence, is underrated. Jalen Brunson versus Karl Anthony Towns. Youth versus experience. Cat is the better player, let's not pretend otherwise. But don't sleep on Duran. He's in the 98th percentile in field goal percentage, dominates the offensive glass, and has far fewer turnovers than Cat. So, could he outplay Towns in a series? Maybe not, but he can frustrate him and help Detroit steal momentum in the paint. The benches. Detroit's secret weapon. Here's where things really shift. Tibbs plays a starter heavy minutes. Detroit, they've got fresh legs and firepower. Let's dig into a few key matchups. Malik Beasley versus Miles McBride. Who's the true sixth man? Beasley's been lights out, 16 points per game, elite efficiency, and 319 threes made, a Pistons record. McBride, solid, 9 points, 3 assists, and barely any turnovers. But Beasley spaces the floor in a way that transforms Detroit's offense. I pick Beasley, no question. Dennis Schroeder versus Cameron Payne. Two veteran guards who can run the show. But Schroeder's having the better year. 13 points, 3 boards, 5.5 assists, all higher than Payne. And he'll play more minutes. that matters. I pick Schroeder. Isaiah Stewart versus Mitchell Robinson, where rim protectors collide. But this one comes with an asterisk. Robinson only played 17 games this season, making it hard to truly gauge how effective he was. Meanwhile, Stewart is holding opponents to 46% at the rim, the best in the league. I have to pick Stewart. He's healthy, elite, and ready. So, can Detroit actually win this series? If you've been counting, Detroit has the edge in more matchups than expected. Cade leads the charge, Beasley spaces the floor, Ausar defends like a madman, and the bench is deep and dangerous. The Knicks may have more playoff reps, but Detroit, they've got a squad built to disrupt, outrun, and outlast. So, upset coming? Maybe. But based on these matchups, maybe it's not even an upset. The Pistons might just have the edge.